Hey everyone. So, I've been playing Overwatch all week, relentlessly. I hear that it also has like 7 million players right now, uh, which I think in some ways kind of indicates that it's probably the most popular FPS in existence at the moment, even like compared to Call of Duty and Halo. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, and I can't say that it's not justified. The game is fucking phenomenal. I guess in some ways it's I kind of I'm having flashbacks when like playing EverQuest in like Final Fantasy 11, and then having World of Warcraft come out. So this is kind of like the World of Warcraft of first-person shooters, I guess. Maybe I'm extrapolating a bit. Maybe somebody can explain to me that that's not the case, but I think that it may actually be. So I wonder how long until the next wave of first-person shooter fans view Overwatch as the first real FPS ever made. So like after Half-Life, everybody started to like, oh, after Valve invented the first-person shooter. I know this wasn't like an educated thought process that a lot of people had. It wasn't something that people actually held to, and but there was after Half-Life this sort of mentality that like Half-Life was the first one that really did it, that really went that far. And it's the same thing that happened in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, people were talking about 400,000 subscribers. That's like that's amazing for EverQuest. Holy cow, that's the biggest MMO ever. They must be like swimming in money. And then World of Warcraft came along, and then like less than a year later, all of a sudden the other MMOs that retained their current subscriber base were dying. They still had 400,000, but they were all dying now. Those games were all dying, even though EverQuest less, and I think it's still there. You can still play it, but hear me out here. Like we're kind of seeing this happen with first-person shooters, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thought. So I wonder like how many other things that we might actually see happen as a result of this sort of. We know that after World of Warcraft was out for a little while, we started hearing people wanting the World of Warcraft killer, the next big MMO that's gonna beat World of Warcraft, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of maybe first-person shooters that are trying to compete with Overwatch, and they're all gonna fail and fall flat on their faces because they can't compete. So I guess we're going down this train of thought again. Like I think we're all getting to see this happen again. And I think that by itself is actually a pretty interesting topic, don't you think? Like seriously, we're like I saw it all happen and unfold with World of Warcraft. I'm wondering if we'll see the exact same thing happen all over again in a new space with first-person shooters. And I think in a lot of ways this is a good thing because I am a fan of arena first-person shooters, and Overwatch definitely fucking says, yeah, you can have a rocket launcher that's unrealistic, and you can have huge numbers of players that are interested in playing the game. So like in a way, Farah kind of like encourages the Quake mindset. But I guess what also another thing that I'm noticing that people are saying is that uh, they're sort of calling Overwatch an arena shooter. Ooh, it's an arena shooter? I I don't know. You know what? Maybe arena shooter, the term has just been so nebulous over the past that to me it's not an arena shooter unless it's a lot like Quake or Doom, right? That those are arena shooters, but maybe maybe that's not true. Maybe Overwatch is an arena shooter. And I guess that's a good thing that someone made a AAA multiplayer arena shooter because Doom sure as hell wasn't. Not the multiplayer. The single player, close enough, but you might still hear people say like, well, the multiplayer and Doom needed to be different because nobody wants to play arena shooters anymore. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, nobody wants to play arena shooters anymore, huh? Nobody? Huh? No? No, not 7 million, not 7 million people. How about an open beta with 9 million? Oh, so there's that argument. Honestly, I think the main defining merit of a game these days is its level of polish. I mean, I have already proven I could put together a playable arena shooter on UE4 blueprints by myself. I mean, it's not that really difficult to do, but we know ultimately that it won't amount to much without insane amounts of polish. We also know that many arena shooters already exist that have had years of gameplay spit and shine, but are only mediocre graphics. Polish is a full package, and that's one of the things that Overwatch is really fucking doing. It's the graphics, it's the story, it's also, it's all of it. Everything, pretty much on every front. And you might argue that, oh, well, Overwatch doesn't have a single player campaign. Who fucking cares? Its single player campaign would never, isn't nearly as interesting as the backstory the damn thing already has. You really don't even need a single player campaign if the gameplay is this good and you have like these feature length, like, well, not feature length, but like movies and comics, and they're gonna branch the fuck out, man. This thing's like the board. It's just gonna take over the universe. So, maybe there will be a single player campaign or something down the road, but they don't need to do that because the game does have a backstory. It does have all that really cool shit, and it has so much polish on pretty much every front that it doesn't matter. But then we also know that many people still use the word balance improperly and things like that. Like, well, is the game polished or is it balanced? And sure, Overwatch isn't perfect, right? We could say that it's not super perfect. I think that's when I'm going to have to say that the word balance needs to be thought more along the lines of the word polish. How polished is the balance of the game? Just because one gun is objectively better than another does not denote an imbalanced weapon. The AWP is objectively better than the Scout in terms of how effective it is, but nobody's saying CS:GO is an unbalanced game. The reality is that CSGO is a very polished game, right? It's a very polished competitive shooter. Overwatch is a very polished competitive shooter as well. After playing countless hours of Overwatch, I have to say it's the most polished FPS I have probably ever played. Sure, the game has issues. Zenyatta dies if an enemy farts in the same room as him. Bastion and Torbjorn are useless in high levels of play, but act like fucking noob stompers in low level play. Interesting design choice on that one. McCree is hands down the best counter to everything. He could probably kill like anybody he wants at any point in time if you're just getting close with him. They're planning to buff Diva, even though I thought she was already really strong. Mercy and Reinhardt might as well be required choices before every match can even begin. Seriously, they always say how you're supposed to switch characters, but if you play Mercy once, you're stuck playing her until the end of time. You will be stuck playing her forever. It's like, no, you're playing Mercy. Oh, but we're getting countered. Oh, no, you're playing Mercy. Somebody else will switch. And God forbid you switch out of Reinhardt when the team needs it. Oh, well. I mean, I might switch from Reinhardt to another tank, but I'll never, switch from Reinhardt to Pharah because I'd be fucking the team at that point. And of course, there's Symmetra, is the only good for her teleporter, and is the only support that provides no healing at all, which I think is really weird. So with that said, I haven't really got back to working on UT4 Fortress at all. Seriously, Overwatch is just so damn good, I have not been able to do anything other than play Overwatch. And it's also kind of made me rethink a little bit about what I'm doing for UT4. Like, I want to work on something with UT4. I still have my blueprint project in UE4. I really still do want to play an arena shooter that is sort of a looter shooter style game. But seeing Overwatch, and enjoying it and playing it to the extent that I am right now, is very distracting. It's making me think about everything in a different light. And I know that the game has problems, but I think that it's actually showing that if a arena shooter actually were to come out, say something that we know, like if there was a Quake 5, right? And Quake 5 sticks to its fucking roots and actually does a really, like, they polish it to extreme levels, right? I think that would actually work. I think that in a lot of ways, Overwatch shows that if you take something that maybe hasn't been super mega popular in the past or was only reasonably popular before, and then you just you make a new thing and you polish it. You fucking put tons and tons of polish and spit and shine on the damn thing. You can actually take something like TF2 and just completely take over the entire scene. So, actual genuine arena shooters, right now, are these games you could easily top even the best arena shooters right now, because they're all like half a damn decade old at best, right? Most of them are even older than that. And you could see in the case of Doom 4, like, the single player campaign actually does compete with the original ones, but it still fails. It still falls short. Like, I think that they could have fucking hit the shit out of the ballpark even better. Like, I think the level of polish is one of the defining attributes, because I think that it's so much easier these days to put together a decent, okay game that it's just going to fall under the radar. But if you have something that actually has that is extraordinarily detailed and well thought out and supports esports and supports sort of giving players things to work towards, a sort of Skinner box level design and everything like that, that right there, I think, is the key thing. So working on a game that's, just because a game's new, is not going to make it any better than something that has already come out before. I think now we live more in a day of polish than we do in a day of just putting out another game that's sort of okay. Like, I guess it's been this way for a while, and now I'm kind of just talking in circles at this point. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll probably be going on more rants about Overwatch in the future, because I think it actually has taken over. I don't know for sure yet. I mean, we'll see in a couple of months, but I think that this wave that Overwatch has caused, Overwatch is undoubtedly going to cause a wave. It's the same thing with MMOs. It caused a wave of other MMOs to come out after World of Warcraft. We may actually see a wave of first-person shooters that are coming out that are not these realistic military shooters or anything like that, that actually are more like arena shooters. We may actually see polished arena shooters coming out. We may actually even see more Team Fortress style games as well that are not trying to be realistic. Just think about that. If the same patterns happen as before, we may actually see. And we may see a repeat. But I don't know if it's going to be different, because MMOs are much harder to do overall than a decent first-person shooter, than a really great first-person shooter. So this wave may actually be beneficial to a lot of us. Like, if you're a fan of arena shooters like I am, then we may actually be looking at something that could be really remarkable. I'm really curious to see the wave that Overwatch is going to cause. So Overwatch is amazing, not just for one reason, but because of what I think is going to come as a result of Overwatch. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.